What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy Richie Rich coming back at you, man. I feel like I haven't been online in 2 months, but I'm back again with special guests. With no further ado, introduce yourself, brother, to the people.
My name is Szaba. I've been living here for about going on 6 years, be December, and I'm really excited about the topic today because it's so positive, and I've been feeling really good about it. I've been thinking about it consciously for the last couple of weeks, so I'm really excited to talk about all the positive things about living here in the Dominican Republic.
Cool, cool. All right, we had a lot of people that loved the first interview you gave with us. It got a lot of views, man. Actually, I think it brought about 2,000 views, which is a lot for one of my lives. You know,
Wow,
so a lot of people was interactive on it. It was asking
wow,
questions about it and everything.
that's
So
cool.
that was good, man.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
so we brought the brother back to give us some more knowledge, more game.
yeah.
Let us know what's really going on in the DR, man. How's that living out there, brother?
Man, it is good, but I like to start off by saying that um, it's like an airplane crash. You've been hearing a lot of bad news about all the deaths and everything, and I'll analogize that like this. I mean, if a plane crashes, right? Planes land safely every day, but if a plane crashes, you'll hear about it. You don't hear about the good things happening. And in other words, bad news travels fast. I mean, if a planes land safely every day, but if one plane crashes, then it's like, oh, the news goes all over the world. So there are a lot of good things, positive things happening here. And unfortunately, in the last couple of weeks, the last couple of months, the Dominican Republic has been getting a lot of bad press about some of the negative things here. So that's why it's good that we're talking about the positive things. That's why it's good today. Today is a great day to talk about those things.
Okay, okay. Well, I'm sure the positive outweighs the negative. It's got
Oh,
to
for
be because
sure.
you there
Yeah,
voluntarily.
yeah,
So
yeah,
a lot of
yes,
guys is like, well, why is he there? Oh, we was talking
yeah,
about the bad things on the other video.
yeah.
So and then
I even get Dominicans will say, "Man, why are you here?" Dominicans will ask you that because they kind of see the United States as the land of opportunity and other things, and it's in their psyche, and so they come sometimes don't see the rationale, but there are a lot of expats here, so. Um, I'll start off by saying, the Dominican Republic is sometimes called, I like the climate. The climate is it's called the endless summer, the Dominican Republic sometimes, and the climate is great. So sometimes it gets a little hot, but the temperature never goes like between 10 degrees, and so it's always great weather here. You know, um, and what else? The I wrote some things down, so I'll be looking down. Um, also, one good thing about being here is we don't have mass shootings. I mean, of course there are things that happen here, but we don't have as nearly as much as violence in a lot of cities in America. So for instance, you can go to the beach where young people are drinking and drunk, and you're not really worried about violence. Now, that would be very difficult in the United States to do that. So, I mean, you can go somewhere at night as long as you're in a safe area and there's tourists and you're going to be pretty much safe for the most part. And that's a cool thing that if you can, just like in the States, you if you can navigate yourself, you can live a pretty safe life here. Number three is I think it's easier here to make friends than home. A lot of times you'll see a brother, especially if you're not in those tourist areas, even if you're in the tourist areas, sometimes it's easy to coalesce with other brothers by being a foreigner. You know, with a lot of things, because you speak the same language, you can identify with the culture, and you immediately you can coalesce. You know, I've heard many people who live here constantly say they have more friends here or more foreign friends than they have friends in the United Snakes of America.
So
And
you telling me that as an expat, you can make friends with locals or other expats?
I think so. I've heard people say they don't have friends, and I think that's difficult for me to understand because it's so easy to make friends here. This is the thing, Rich. You cannot make friends that's predicated on your money. In other words, you can't have relationships with people and it's predicated, on your back in relations to money, being seeming like they only light up, kind of like the pinball effect. They only light up unless you're putting coins in them. Oh, my telephone dropped.
Technical difficulty. Technical
Technical,
difficulty. Hey, let
technical
me let me
difficulty.
let me give a shout out to OW, man. He said
Okay.
WTU TRU from that 504. WTU true. Yeah, that's
I'm
what's
gonna
up.
try to hold it, man. I gotta get a
Go ahead,
stand,
man. I'll
but
give you time to try to hook that up.
well,
Go ahead,
look here. I had it hooked on my computer with tape.
go ahead and
you
put a
know,
little more tape on it, man. Cause I
and
don't.
I'm afraid it's gonna fall down. Let me try it again.
What I
Uh,
usually do is I'll prop it up on something.
yeah, I'm sitting in front of two monitors, and yeah, I'm gonna get a stand because I think the
What you gotta
computers
do,
can.
man? It's all good. Hey,
All right.
hey, we're keeping it raw over here, man. We ain't got no fancy cameras, fancy this, that. We bring it to you raw out here. Shouts out to everybody in here, man. I see it's 22 people in here. If y'all got any questions, throw it up in here, man. You got an expat living down there, Santiago. He lived in Santo Domingo and other little places in the DR. I think he been down there over 7 years, right?
It's going on 6. Damn, I don't see the dang on camera now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can't see myself, but it's okay. I ain't gotta see. As long as you can see me. Can you see me? Am I even?
I see your avatar. You hit the camera button.
Ah, hell. Let me go back. Man, let me go back. Go ahead. We can talk while I'm getting it together here. I'm
Yeah, yeah,
sorry,
yeah.
man.
So you're saying is it pretty easy to find other Dominicans that you can actually be friends with and then them not like kind of leeching on you for money or whatever? What's the deal with that? Or do you find Dominicans like with they have their own money? Is that the case? Or
That's the that's man, I cannot get this. See, that's the key right there, bro. Uh I, well, that's okay. Let me just continue to talk. Because I don't want to hit nothing and that's the key right there, bro. You hit it right on the head. When you're dealing with people, it's almost like, you in the hood, right? And you dealing with them hood dudes. And then you expect y'all to have a relationship on parity. It just ain't gonna happen. Or, you got dudes who come over here, and I've said this before, and they'll deal with some of the lower class ladies, and then they expect some sort of parity. You know, unfortunately, um, you know, if that's the kind of seeds that you're planting, well, that's what you're gonna get. That's what you're gonna get. There are some really good people here, and there are some people who got their own stuff. and they're not trying to leech off you. And I have quite a bit of relationships like that.
Word. Shout out to Drees, man. He said, "Why any toxology reports in minibar deaths?" You been keeping up with the news, man?
Me?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Have
Um,
they been like reporting still on the death of the tourists, or they done got off of it? Or
yeah, I think it's died down a little bit, but you'll hear it. But I would say this, and because this is a positive show, when you focus on that news, I mean, there are people even in America who will not, um, they refuse to look at news because of how newscasts are structured. Newscasts, many times people will begin to feel, they will feel bad sometimes when they watch the news. So, that's the thing. So if you focus on that news, it can have it can be a detriment to your psyche. For me, sometimes I have to turn off the news. If I want to see people cry and go through drama, I'll turn on the news. So, but I'd rather not focus on, again, the positive. Uh, Another thing here, I think I'm at number 4 or 5, is I'm going to have to say it this way for the invection. Okay. So I won't curse, but I'll say it for the invection. Living over here, I somehow escape that in stuff. You know, uh, I, I don't deal with it like we have to deal with it in America. When in America, you always have to, if you're a decent, well-spoken brother, you always have to defend yourself, prove yourself, many, many times, to people to say, okay, he's all right. You don't have that. You don't have that because a lot of times, a lot of the people who, you know, uh, got those behaviors, a lot of times they got records and they got problems. They can't even get passports. So that in itself gives you a certain reputation that you don't have in the United States. Does that make sense to you?
exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Um, Number 5, you have a lot of freedom here. There's that old thing about the boiling frog, and we don't. You've heard that whole concept about the frog, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we don't realize how little freedoms we have uh, until we actually go to other countries and experience other things. Uh, I was going to tell you a story about Korea. Let me just tell you real quick. Uh, when I was in the military, guy said to me, he said, "Man, I was very young and basically trying to say we were so free. We were the freest country in the world." And he just bust my bubble. He started just talking about, just for instance, I'll give you one of the variables he talked, just taxes. He said, "You work for the government." And I was like, "We don't, if you're not in the military, you work for." He's like, "Yeah, tax day in America is for a lot for most Americans is around June or July. No, no, I'm gonna take that back. I think May 5th is tax day. In other words, that's if you looked at how much money we pay in taxes to the U.S. government, a lot of us pay anywhere from 20, 30, 35%. That's a lot of our salary going to the government. And but those examples like that, just solidifies in my mind, we're not free. You can't. He was saying you can own property, but it'll really never be yours. The government, government still got to pay the taxes forever. There are some places in Africa and some places here you're not. You can kind of get away, with paying. If you do pay taxes, it's not as nearly as much as in the United States. Um, Also, the police here are generally nice. I can talk about corruption. There's corruption everywhere, but this is the positive show. police are generally friendly. I am not worried about getting shot. Okay. And actually, I don't have any problem talking to the police. You know, I don't have any problem, you know, um, getting along with the police. You know, so that is huge. Whereas for many people, uh, the police dealing with the police, getting stopped by the police is a very stressful situation. Talking to a doctor friend of mine, and he was talking about African Americans and stress, and he was saying how we don't. He said he was writing a book, and he was saying us as African Americans don't really realize how um, how how much stress negatively impacts our lives and ends our lives. I'll say this. I'll give you something private. I just came back from the doctor about about and this is going to tie into stress and living here. And about a month ago, and she was like, everything is fine, and your heart, everything's great, you know, because I'll still go jogging and things like that. And she was like, everything's great. She said, I don't want to scare you, but there's one little thing. And she said, now my dad died at 47. As a matter of, as my dad died at 47, a lot of it was, I think, from his lifestyle. Okay. Uh, and you know, doctor always asks me, do you have heart problems in your family? I'd be like, not only from the fat people, you know, only from the people who aren't taking care of themselves. So the people who have taken care of themselves in my family have lived long. Um, uh, and but at any rate, she said you have a slight enlargement of your heart, and that's what my dad died from. And I was saying she said the only thing I can equate that to is possibly stress in your life. And she was saying that make sure you live your life very stress free. Living over here helps me with that. There are some things over here you can put yourself in stressful situations, but for the most part, it is very stress free. And I can tell you, and I will submit to you, there are a lot of black men in America who are who are in stressful situations, either with wives, their children, or their diet.
Word.
As a matter of fact, before we started talking, I looked up life expectancy. And of course, life expectancies will fluctuate. But life expectancy in the US is 80 on average. And that's between men and women. And when you get that number, you got men live to be about 78, women live to be about um, 82. Okay. In the Dominican Republic, men live to be about 76, and women live to be about 81. So that's not far behind. With considering all the medicine we have in America, we should be living longer. All the great all the medical facilities and access to doctors, we should be living longer. Now, when you look at African American men and African American women, the Dominicans are ahead of us. African American men, and of course, I know these numbers will fluctuate, are at 72, and African American women are at 78. Remember, the Dominican men are 76, Dominican women are 81. So all I'm saying is, all the brothers that's listening, man, look, we don't got but one life, and most of us are on the decline. Most of us ain't gonna live to be 100 or whatever. So most of us are past midlife, our midlife. So it is super important. Ran into a guy at the gym the other day. He said, man, I can't think of one excuse not to exercise. I can't think. I was like, wow, you know, and not only that, it helps with stress because you can come here and be in stressful situations. And you can come here and eat the wrong food. Another positive, and eat the wrong foods. You know, you got fast food restaurants you can find here. You can find bad food, you know, if but you have greater access to better food. I think the foods here have less chemicals. Now they may have less regulation, but and I have no proof of this, but I would think that the foods here are have less chemicals. You see many farms and animals here. As actually, the lady who I bought a house from, I mean, from land from, we were just sitting around talking, and she goes, and the chicken comes by. You know, she got all the chickens run by. She grabs them, like, here, take this as a gift. You know, so you can find a lot of mango trees, a lot of fruits here, just walking. You know, um, am I talking too much?
Well, hold on real quick. I'll give
Okay.
special shouts out to DP Man 39. He says, keep doing your thing, Rich. WTU. WTU stand up. Appreciate the support. Make a biz. You know our support fam gotta set up a concert. Yeah, hit me up, man, on email. And we do a consultation if you guys if y'all want to talk one on one or whatever. Hit me on the email, Sasua Dominican Republic, yahoo.com. That's Sasua Dominican Republic, yahoo.com. Hit Dre up, Dre Hard 38 at gmail.com. Dre Hard 38 at gmail.com. Let me see, hold on. All right. OW says, is tourism increasing since the media crisis? And
uh, I've been looking at numbers and I look at news, and actually, I think it fluctuates. It went down for a little while, but then I saw a report the other day and said it's increased over the last quarter. So having raw numbers, I think I wouldn't I don't have. So every time I hit video, it says I'm already in a call. Can you see me now?
I see your avatar, but
Hey, every time I hit the thing, it says you're already in a call, and I hit the thing anyway. Let me just keep going. Uh,
but I got it. I
Cost
got
of
it on.
living.
I got it on screen share right now. So I kind of giving them something to look at. But let me finish giving these shots out. Jay Rich, WTU showed me the game. Appreciate you, player. Great addition. Shout out to that brother. When you come through the ATL, I tried my best to meet you at that pilot, man. You know, you said you passed through that pilot, and that's one thing I try to do. Whenever WTU member is in my area, I try to stop what I'm doing and at least, go out and shake their hand or have a drink with them. We try to keep it like family in there. You know, Tampa Twan, shout out to Tampa Twan. He didn't say nothing, but appreciate the donation to all you fellas. And I put all this money towards travel and getting better content. I'm in the process of, I want to try to get me a different camera also. I got the Osmo, but I want to get something where I can zoom in and get y'all some of them shots y'all want. Y'all know what I'm talking about. So shout out to y'all. Appreciate that. So yeah, OW question is, and Drees had a question also. OW question is tourism increasing since the media crisis? And Dre wants to know, I guess on the news, did you hear about any toxicology reports referring to like the mini bars in these hotels? Was it really poison? What's the deal?
You know, I've heard some things here, and I've heard that the United States was involved, and they were doing toxicology reports. I haven't heard anything since. And then the United States has been kind of accusatory of them not being open and laying everything on the table. So I don't want to speak to that and not have the information correct. But I haven't been seeing many things in the news about it, at least Dominican news. Most of the stuff that I do see about it, Americans are reporting on it. I don't see them actually putting that stuff much on the news here. You know, uh,
So is
but
tourism increasing again, or is still slowed down?
it seems like it slowed. Like I said, it seems like it slowed. Actually, I've seen reports where it slowed, but then I read other reports where it said, over the quarter, when you look at the quarter, then it has increased. And again, I don't have any hard evidence on that or hard numbers, so I wouldn't want to be too fast to speak on it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. And continuing, the cost of living. I mean, in the United States, everybody's on that treadmill, and can't ever. It seems like people are working, and no matter how much they work, they can't get ahead. And so, I think everything is a lot slowed here. So I think it's the cost of living helps, with people actually, since people who have lived to be 100 years old, I like listening to those people. And one of the things, there's a theme that they always talk about. And many of the people who live to be over 100 or older people usually will tell you they wish they wouldn't have worked so much. That working for other people and you're not really getting anywhere, it can be difficult. It can be, and then not to mention the inflation and the pay to standard of living. It's not how much you make, it's about how much you keep and your standard of living. I'd rather not have a lot of money and have a high standard of living than to have a lot of money and have a low standard of living. So I think, not necessarily money, but standard of living is very important. I don't know what number I'm on, but racism, man, I know this is going to sound a little bit crazy at first, but just stick with me. I heard a guy say, I didn't know how it felt. Now stick with me. This is going to sound kind of crazy. He said, I didn't know how it felt to be a white man until I was in the Philippines. And I'm like, what does that mean? And what he basically was talking about was when white people go to the store in America, they are instantly respected. When white people go to buy something, they are respected. When they get stopped by the police, they are respected. That's huge when you think about it. And when you got countries like over here that treat you better, generally speaking, than our own country treats us. In other words, we're treated with respect. And I'll say, so just the racism that goes on, talk about the stress from racism. That is huge. Now, that kind of stuff happens here, but nowhere near on the level as it happens in the United States. Another thing, so that lack of experience and having to deal with racism is a huge pressure off of African Americans. Another thing, homelessness. It's not a lot of homelessness here, and I've been in real terrible places in Santo Domingo, and you don't see a lot of people like you see in the States just sleeping on the streets. You go to pretty much any sizable city in America, and there are literally hundreds of people on the streets. And I think that really alludes to maybe the loyalty to family that they have here. I can tell you that many people, there are billions of dollars from Dominicans that send money home. So that homelessness. So I think homelessness and a lack of homelessness here is inextricably tied to some degree on family loyalty. People will bring you in. There aren't as many old folks' homes here because people will take care of the old people. As a matter of fact, there are people here who've never been in an old folks' home. They exist. They're here. I've heard people say they aren't, but yeah, you can find it. But it's not like in the United States. I know that, and I'll let me make this analogy: how free the people. I feel the free the people are. There was a report in 2009, that was like 10 years ago. There was a report by an independent research group in Britain. They said that the Dominican Republic was the second happiest country on the planet. Now, I know a couple of years ago, I read a report, I don't know who made it, and they said the young people in the Dominican Republic were very happy, the happiest people on the planet. And you see a bunch of kids at the bus stop or on the bus, they just ain't crazy, just making a bunch of noise, ain't fighting. And so I can agree with that. The people are very, seems to be, in my opinion, happier here, and you can feel it. You
Yeah,
can feel it in your bones. You can feel it in your skin when you're talking to people, and they're really much more accommodating, in my opinion.
yeah,
People are.
they seem like even when you see the poor people, man, like 5 people on a motorcycle and stuff like that,
That's
they
right.
seem like they still having a good time, they still enjoying
That's
life.
right.
And then a lot of times they live in these houses like, I mean, walking distance from the beach. I mean, they got
Right.
fresh fruits, they got a lot of stuff
Right.
going on.
Right. And the beaches, like you said, the beaches are majestic. These beaches, if you go to the beaches here and you just watch the sun go down or the sun come up, and you don't think there got to be a God, man, that's how majestic the beaches are. The beaches are beautiful. And some people would argue that some of the most beautiful beaches in the world, you know, and many people live close to the beaches, you know. You see an animal, for instance, when I talk about stress, right? Like you might see a deer, right? And a deer can get, it'll tie in, just stick with me. A deer can get like chased by like a lion, right? In about 10 minutes, that deer chilling again. They have to, in other words, we don't have that ability in America. We don't have that ability as human beings. If our life was on the line, we're gonna be nervous for weeks. And how I'm tying that in is, despite some of the problems that they have, they kind of like that deer. They be like, yo, I'm chilling, I'm good, and that's beautiful because we in America are so privileged, but yet so ungrateful. And I swear, man, in my opinion, the people here are certainly more, um, easier and appreciative of life. And that's something to behold because, Rich, no, even if you live to be an old man, if your life wasn't rich, that's kind of your name is rich, but if your life isn't rich, what would you live it over again? Is it worth living if your life ain't rich? And I would submit to you, I think there are many people here whose lives are very rich. There's somebody listening to us, man, they trapped in some job somewhere. They can only go once a year. Their life ain't rich, man. They working at a job they don't like.
Hey,
And
I talk
so,
to people
we
all the
only got
time.
one life. Go ahead.
So I talk to people all the time, man, and they be like, "Oh man, my job won't let me off. Oh man," and I'm thinking like, this job is controlling you, bro. You gotta stretch your feet out, and you gotta
Right.
call in sick sometimes. Say, hey, take you a last minute vacation, man.
That's
Like,
right. That's right.
like,
That's right.
do stuff for yourself, man.
Yeah,
And
yeah. That's right. That's
yeah,
right.
let me give a
Another
shout
thing.
out to Brian
Go
Bowen,
ahead.
man. Appreciate you for everything, man. You always support, man. Tony Montana, man. Appreciate you too, brother. You know you my brother, man. You know you my brother.
Check it out.
That's a little inside joke, but anyhow, man. If y'all like the screen share, let me know. Hit one. If y'all don't, if y'all want to see us chop it up, hit two, man. So I know. But sometimes I get, it probably get a little boring just watching us. But
Yeah.
uh, some Charlie Travels asks, let me run down a few questions for you. Charlie Travels want to know how is your Spanish, and Yoga he wants to know about bank accounts in the DR, and you can give like a quick answer to those. I'll read a few
Okay.
more questions.
Yo español es no perfecto. También no país perfecto, pero es cosas me gusto aquí and cosas no me gusto aquí. My Spanish is not. I don't think I'd ever say fluent. I was just saying that no, my Spanish is good, and no country is perfect, and there's things I like here and there's things I don't like here. Um, but I feel like I can talk to anybody about anything. I mean, I don't feel I've been here for 6 years, so I'm still learning. But yeah, I feel pretty. Although my accent, it's funny. I hear other Americans talk, and I'll be like, man, that don't sound right. I mean, because that we don't have the accent that they do. So of course we're going to pronounce words funny and everything. But pretty much, I feel pretty confident. I can talk to anybody. I can talk to, work with lawyers. I can talk to them about things. So yeah, it's pretty. I would say it's pretty good. And then bank accounts. Bank accounts. Are pretty easy to get. Sometimes you may have to have a sponsor. Um, it's a process. It's not like walking in and then boom, your bank account. I had to get a letter from my bank account. I had to bring in, passport document. How long I was with my bank account. But it's not difficult. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's not as it's because if you're not a citizen, then that's why all of that stuff it comes into play. And people, governments here and in the states are concerned with laundering money. So it's a process you have to go through. So if you're willing to go through the process, it's possible. It's possible.
So basically, if you get a bank account, they gonna know you got that bank account back here in America. Ain't no hiding that shit, right?
Well, you asking me some FBI stuff? I don't know.
I mean, you just said you got to give your bank record and all
That's
that. Do they
right.
call your bank and stuff or what?
No, they didn't call my bank, but I had to give them like some records from my bank. I had to get a certified letter from my bank too. So I don't know how much they looking, how much they are. I'm sure that there are agents here who secretly work with the U.S. with people's bank accounts, man. If one thing, I believe governments are looking at people's money. So the way I feel about it, if you ain't really doing nothing wrong, then you probably be all right.
Mm.
But I don't know if they have access. I don't know.
A lot of brothers be married, man, and you know how it is when you get married, you never know you get divorced. It kind of comes along with the marriage.
Exactly.
So they be trying
Exactly.
to hide that money, trying to hide
Exactly.
that money from that honey.
Exactly.
Did you see in the news the other day? Sugar Shane Mosley, he's getting divorced from his wife, and she's getting like half of the money that he made since they've been married, and she's getting like three of his belts. I mean, it's crazy. It's a whole rundown of shit she get.
Ooh-wee. I saw that. Wow. you know, eh, wow. That's a whole nother conversation. But it really points to, you've heard this before, and this is kind of off the subject, but uh, if is it really worth it? Is it worth the risk of getting married? And when you look at it, the laws are so biased, so sexist towards men. It just doesn't might not make a lot of logical sense for a lot of people to take that risk, especially when most marriages are going to fail at some point. It might not even be logical to do it. But
So does that work the same in the DR? Do the women get like half if you divorce them or whatever?
you know, I've heard stories. I've heard stories. Uh, but the crazy thing is, I don't know anybody that was wealthy and got divorced here, so I don't know how that works. But many times, if it's just regular people breaking up, pretty much if you go through the whole process and you're a Dominican citizen, you have to divide everything up. But in a way, I've heard more horror stories against men than I have, uh, good stories when people break up. But most of the expats, in my opinion, pretty much don't have a lot that they can take. In other words, they maybe rent a house or whatever, and then they just say keep the TVs or whatever. But as far as how the laws work, I don't know anybody who's been wealthy. I've heard that it's supposed to be split, but the court system is kind of like a little bit in the matrix. It kind of goes towards the women.
Oh, okay. So hey, we got 40 people in chat room. Please, man, take a second out, smash the like button, dump the video out. You know what I'm saying? And if y'all got any questions, throw it up in the chat so the brother can answer the questions for y'all. I see I can hear you shuffling through your papers. So what you got in
Yeah.
your
Okay.
footnote?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, let me continue. Let me continue. Um, Healthcare prices are very cheap. That's a benefit. Dentists and doctors, that's just a given. The proximity to the United States is because you can be home and I'm in Florida. You can be home in 2 hours. You know, uh, and then you have these carnivals and all these festivals here. There's a lot of artistic expression here, and it's very rich in culture.
So
You know,
what? So
uh,
what's some of your daily routines out there, man? I seen that come up a few times.
besides work, um, basically, if I don't have to do that, I'll get up, I'll eat breakfast, I'll go to the gym. I really enjoy going to the gym, even if I don't, even if I just go and just can be lackadaisical about it. I enjoy going to the gym because it kind of keeps me in shape. And I'll say this really quick as an offshoot: you can't motivate yourself. Your motivation goes up and down, but if you create good habits, then that's just going to be easier for you to stay in shape. So I
Mm.
get in that gym, and there's a lot of good, it's really cool. A lot of good views in the gym, to say the least. And then I'll go and I do some volunteer work. So I volunteer with the school, because I when I got out of the Marine Corps, I used to teach, and I'll do some volunteer work some days, and then I'll go and play chess in the park. Um, and not every day that I'll play chess. Um, and all of this is if I'm not working. And then of course, I have a pretty strong internet here. That's a good thing about being here. You're in the right place. You can get some strong internet. I like playing my video game. Um, I'm not. I don't hang out like that. I went out with Mike. I think I told you this once.
Yeah.
And so, if anybody's listening, they want to party, I'm not your guy. I ain't partying like that. I don't. You know, I don't. I mean, a lot of people come here and party, but I just don't. I ain't really never been like a party dude. So I try to. If there's an event going on, I involve myself. Even if a marathon is going on, even if I'll try to do that, or walk if I have to, run if I have to. So I try to involve myself in positive things. And just like anything, I'm gonna give. If you a crackhead and you go to Iceland, you're gonna find that crack. Okay, so so if you positive and you got positive energy, you're gonna find that positive stuff. So it has a lot to do with, to make a long story short, I involve myself with positive things, positive experiences, and that just helps. That just helps me, man. That just helps my psychology. It helps me all around. Helping people, it helps me, you know.
Word.
So I think God blesses me as a result, you know.
Oh, okay.
Um, but what was it? I'll say this also. Oh shoot.
So what parts of DR have you lived in? Where you currently live in?
I'm in Santiago right now. I gotta probably go in about 10 minutes. I got somebody coming by.
Oh,
I live in Santiago, but I've been in Santo Domingo. I lived in Santo Domingo. I've lived in Puerto Plata. Oh, the person is here. Oh, they say
oh,
they're here.
okay.
One second. One second. I'm sorry.
You got a pop
Okay,
up
yo
over
llego
there?
al apartamento ahora. Sí. Uh, un momento. Sí, pero es cerca Sumi. Yes. Habla ahí. Um, but um, but I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, I've lived in all three of those places. I like Santiago the best because um, it's not like really busy like um, Santo Domingo, and it's not really like touristy like Puerto Plata.
Yeah, y'all be having some traffic through there though, boy.
Yeah, yeah, we do. And then I'll say this other thing about Santiago. Some people would consider Santiago where a lot of people who do have money and people who are intelligent and who have gone to college live. So I think that's just what I've heard. In my opinion, I like that about Santiago. I think there's a lot of educated people here. So that's a positive about being in Santiago. Um, but let me go through this because I got somebody coming through, and
Oh, okay.
real estate is cheap. I think that people are very generous for the most part. Um, they give you their attention in conversation, especially when you speak Spanish. You know, when you have a vision, if you're a monger, for instance, if your mind is on one thing, people see through that, and so people are going to treat you a certain way. So you know, you give you give whatever energy you get, whatever's coming back at you, that's what you're putting out. You know, you like how I want to mention one thing
Oh,
that we didn't talk about. You know, and so the women and the feminism. Can I talk about that real quick?
yeah, go ahead, brother.
Okay. Um, Let me say this: the energy. You can be at a restaurant where many restaurants are outside, and you could just smell the energy, the positive energy. You can feel the energy in your skin. At least I can. And it is wonderful just being here, just sitting out, just eating lunch, and just how they serve you. They'll come to your table. If you got a beer, they'll open your beer and pour it for you. Little things like that. But feminism, man, that right there, I can talk about that for an hour. Or maybe we should do a show on that. But just how you're treated here, um, as a man, for instance. I've lived in the United States pretty much all my life. I've traveled, and I'll say one thing I've never heard in the United States. I've never heard a group in a group setting say anybody, whether it be men or women, we should respect black men. I've never heard anybody say that in a group setting, like in a big group setting. I've heard it in college, and we should respect our sisters, but I've never heard it for the most part. And that's another thing about being here. As a man, it's not said, but you are respected. And that is huge because, you know, uh, and let me say this also, Rich. If you have, I've said this before, if you have, for instance, pickles, if I say, man, pickles are good, and because I'm your friend, you'll believe me. You'll be like, yeah, I believe Szaba say pickles are good. But if you ain't never ate no pickle, you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And so you be like, yeah, you don't believe me. So in other words, Rich, there are some things you have to in life, and I'm sure you can think of a myriad of things there are some things you just have to experience. And until you experience it, you have to you have to you have to internalize it. And when I'm talking about how you are treated as a human being, and simply from saying the respect that the police give you, the respect of, you know, the respect of how women relate to you. Oh man, dude, it's unparalleled. I mean, femininity, it I'm gonna just go ahead and be a negative. It is, for the most part, non-existent in the United States. It is non-existent. Do you realize there are some men who have never dealt with a feminine woman?
Yeah.
And I feel sorry for them. And so just the femininity that you have, it's almost like, we are equal and different, but balanced. You know, I'm gonna get away from America, but here, uh, when if you deal with somebody that, you know, like I said, that's not, you're dealing with a pinball machine. There's a lot of guys, and I'm gonna go ahead and say it, and also some people may not like it. They've never had an experience outside of outside of somebody they have to pay. And of course, they'll tell you, they'll go, "Oh, they said I ain't got to pay. They said I ain't got to pay." Outside of that kind of stuff. Um, and so, but there are some really good people here, and some really feminine women here. But then again, if you're bringing that manga energy, you may not be able to see that. They call it tricking for a reason. You know,
That's true,
so
man.
I would say if you want, uh, like if a guy was really looking for like a person, uh, I would say, especially if he's got a little bit of age on him, there were people that's working. Somebody that got, not nobody just talking about they in school, talking about what they gonna do, but somebody who has a, like when you go to the credit place, first thing they want to know is your history. They don't want to be like, "Oh, I'm working on my credit." And I mean, if people who, in other words, somebody that is established, that's another level. And I know that might have upset some people, but I had to say it. Excuse me. you know. Uh, okay. Hey man, I gotta go, man. I enjoyed talking with you, man. Put my link in there too for my channel, man. I've been trying to put a little bit of things on there.
All right,
Any more questions before I
what's
go?
the name of your channel? Somebody type it up.
Hold
Type it
on.
out for them.
All right, I'll send it
I'll
to
put
you,
the
and you
link in
can.
the description after the replay.
Yeah. It's Szaba 87, but SZABA 87. But hey, man, I hate to rush off, man, but I enjoyed talking with you as always, my brother, and it was fun.
All right, that's what's up, man. You take care of yourself, man. I'm sure you got something coming over, and it ain't delivery pizza either.
I plead the fifth.
Hey, it's gonna be hot and ready, but it ain't gonna be Little Caesar.
Right.
So,
Lo
yeah.
siento, lo
Hey,
siento,
bro.
yo on telephone.
All right, man. You take it easy. Try to see you. All right, I appreciate all the donations. Shout out to Markel's TV. Y'all check him out on his channel. I think he's in Colombia right now. Always come with the good content. Tampa Twan, shout out to you, man. Femininity and DR. Brothers speaking facts. Charlie Travels. I gotta check your channel out, man. You got some vlogs on there? Appreciate the insight. Appreciate y'all, man, joining the little interview with brother Szaba. Like I said, a brother been living in DR about 6 years now, man, and he's a real cool guy, man. I usually hit him up and we talk about other things other than traveling, man. Like I said, if y'all see this guy's resume and the stuff he's done and the places he's been, I mean, he's more like a mentor, man. He's somebody you can talk to, have problems, you can tell, he's a real cool guy, man. Shout out to MMA Fan 3, man. What's going on, man? Appreciate the donations, man. Everybody make sure you smash the like button. I'm gonna go live with Drees tomorrow. I'm not sure on the time. I know it's gonna be like after 9 o'clock when we go live. So y'all look out for the live tomorrow. I'm not sure it's gonna be on my channel or his. We'll try to work it out. Let me know. Do y'all like the screen share that I'm doing now, or y'all just want to be looking at us when we chat? Cause I got so much footage and shit in Brazil, man. It's impossible to just put all this stuff on video. As you can see on the camera now, some of the angles was bad. We was in the favelas on this one, so I was trying to be discreet and I was holding the camera down in my hand. I didn't want to be you know, all up front with that shit. Got to be more discreet, you know. Okay, one person said screen share. We're rolling up on Jerome's. This is named by Drees. Y'all hear Dre Hart. Go check his channel out if you haven't yet. Subscribe. Get that brother to 1,000. He just dropped a video on Sasua. I think on the DR. I'm not sure if it was just Sasua, but on the DR, y'all go check him out. And he named this spot right here Jerome's Last Supper. Y'all can see we on the tour. We got all the WTU members, well, a few of them. Yeah, we do travel together. We're trying to get some more group trips planned for the future, man. The Colombia trip in November is still kind of up in the air. I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that trip. So any fellas interested in meeting up in Colombia, just hit us up. Let us know. It's gonna be November like the 7th through the 14th, something like that. Just pick your own date. The prices as far as Spirit, I fly Spirit. I know some of y'all don't, but uh, the prices have went down for me and a few other people. So I might go ahead and book that trip for November to Rome's Last Supper. Yeah. So, but anyhow, what's going on with y'all fellas, man? Post up y'all next trip, man. Let me know where y'all going next. Let me know where y'all headed, man. Where y'all brothers going out to? Jerome's Last Supper. Anyhow, we at the end of this. Don't share a Brazil trip if you're talking to someone in DR. Well, you know what? It's my channel, so I'm gonna show what I want to show. I don't have a whole lot of footage of DR to put on right now, so once I get there and I get footage of DR, I'll show it. But the only thing about DR, man, they really a lot, even in certain other areas besides Sewell, man, they don't like that camera. You know, they get offended by that shit very easily. But in Brazil, they didn't really have a problem with that stuff. You know, we had one little incident with one girl. She was kind of tripping on it, but for the most part, they don't trip like that. Oh, that's cool, JB. That's cool. But the only thing I said was, did y'all like the screen share? You know what I'm saying? Headed to Belize soon. All right. Man, I want to know about Belize too, man. I heard they use that American money over there. Doing Santiago, September after Morocco. That's what's up, brother. Brother Jaws doing great things. Going down to Morocco. ATL Kells, man, where you been? You been hiding out on me, homie. You been hiding out, man. You said screen share, but do the stills? Is it distorted or what? Cause I'm looking on my phone and it's coming through pretty clear. It looks like it's pretty it's moving pretty good. Yeah, it looks like it's moving pretty good. Sasua. James Jones, man, you can't go down to Sasua, man. You can't go down there, brother. What's good, Kevy Kev? Tijuana, Mexico. TJ. Hey, man, you know, I'm thinking about doing a trip to TJ, man. They speak English in Belize, and yeah, they take the dollar. Yeah, man, I might have to check it out. I've been hearing like conflicting stories about it, though. I've been hearing like the girls over there, they don't look good. I heard it's a beautiful ass country and everything. A lot of stuff to see, a lot to do, but and then I hear other guys saying, "Oh man, the women over there, I'm telling you, man, they're amazing." But I don't know. I won't know till I go. So I'm gonna have to make that trip one day, man. So Charlie Travels, do you got a channel, man? Are you posting stuff for the Belize trip or what? Labor Day weekend. Everybody going to Sasua for Labor Day. Kevy Cab gets ready for Sasua in September. Dre, man, you tripping. Yeah, the girls built like refrigerators. Shit, not all of them. I know some of them, man. It just seemed like Spanish women, but not Spanish women, but Mexican women. It seemed like when they have babies, then their bodies be like this lady body right here. Let me put it back to her. Nah, ain't like that. Let me stop, man. I need to start posting. I will soon. Okay. August 19th, it's the sewer. Shit, my birthday on the 16th, brother. I need to be down there with you in the suit. In the suit. When next time I go to DR, man, I'm going back to Santo Domingo. I want to check that out. I never been to Boca Chica, so I gotta spend a day or two out there. You know, the old heads be in Boca Chica, they be like, man, I'm telling y'all didn't go Boca Chica, man, go Boca Chica. I'm gonna check it out. I'll be there on the 21st. All right, happy birthday to you, brother. What's better, Santo Domingo, Santiago? Shit, I really can't answer that question to be honest, cause I hadn't spent enough time in Santo Domingo. But Santiago is cool, man. Like you said, man. Um, they got some nice little clubs out there. It's close to Sasua. People seem nice. I mean, it seems like you got more regular girls out there you can, get with or whatever. But it's a good time. It's a big town too. So if you go to Sasua, you definitely gotta check Santiago out, man. Give yourself one day. That day where you kind of burnt out. Take yourself to Santiago and see what it's like, man. They got they got them clubs, Lavora, I think it's called Lavora Bar, like 1 and 2. It's pretty good, man. It's a different vibe out there. One day in Boca Chica is enough. What's wrong with Boca Chica, man? Johnny Mitchell said Boca Chica is the sex traffic capital. I've been sent to the Mingo too when I go back to the word. Okay, go to Goldsman Bar, Santiago. I think I might have been there before, man. I don't remember all the names of these places, but I'm gonna try to check it out, man. Next time, check it out, check it out. But yeah, I never been to Boca Chica, man. I heard it's on the rise now that they messing with all the girls in sewer, man. So gotta go down there and check that out. But I'm about to end this live. What up, Jason Jeter? You did the ultimate no. What you do, Jackson? What you do, brother? What did you do, my brother? I'm gonna stay on till you tell me what you did. Man, this the spot right here we went to in Brazil. This dude got all this liquor, man. He was making I brought some back. That shit was so good, bro. But I appreciate y'all fellas checking out the live. We'll go ahead and end that thing, man. And me and Dreezy get it sparked up tomorrow. Y'all enjoy y'all night, brothers. Yeah, I want to know too, man, but you taking too long. Yeah, that's where you got arrested at. Oh, shit. And this is where you learn how to mix your caparina. Caparina. Yeah, Jason, you taking too long, man. The people want to know what happened, man. It's your boy cooking down there in Rio, man. Cooking in Rio. See, man, when you're traveling, sometimes you gotta cook your own breakfast. You can't be running out for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You gotta cook your own shit. Forgot I had this little footage. Let me see. Boy, whipping up those sandwiches. What y'all know about them ghetto sandwiches? Goddamn turkey meat, cheese, and some jelly and eggs. That ain't think Richie Rich cook, huh? Look at me putting that work in. Putting that work in. Y'all see me? Hey, got the turkey meat, cheese, and the eggs. Got them preserves right there. Y'all see the preserves on the top. Y'all see your boy whipping that thing up. Got a little butter on the bread. Oh shit. Well, hey, y'all have a good night, man. See if I can get that brother JJ back on the show. JJ.